thank you specifically for putting your faith in the Winihin Jemide series and being here today. Because many of you had never heard of the Winihin Jemide series before today. And so what you have done is you have trusted us to have a conversation and a discussion that will indeed tie together the concept, the ideal, and the thoughts that, as Orrin Gordon had earlier said, sustainable economic development is not possible until gender emerges. What we do at the series is very simple. We host conversations. Now, these conversations might be by way of conferences, workshops, or an intimate gathering like what we have here today. But there are 4 pillars that would usually guide each of these conversations. The first pillar is one that I am particularly proud of, and this is a pillar that is also close to the heart of the Honorable Minister of Petroleum Resources. This is succession planning. And so may I please ask all those in the room who represent our student delegates to be upstanding. Madam Minister and the panel behind me and our distinguished ladies who these stories will be told about today. The students you see behind you are from final year in secondary school to postgraduate students from Nigeria to countries across Europe. Permit me to just speak to you for one brief moment. In your midst are many women who are firsts, starting from the Honorable Minister and to the ladies seated behind me and to the ladies in the row in front of you. What we will attempt to do today is a relay race of sorts. So we will be handing you a baton. And this baton is an idea. It's an ideal, but for me it is also a particular truth. The reason why there are some men amongst you while we speak of something that is particular to females is this. For the moment, you are the ones who continue to make the decisions in the world. And so if we only address women, we do ourselves a disservice, because as you come behind, we hand you a baton that says, open the door wide for gender to emerge. And so listen intently and contribute, and hopefully you will take away something that will be particular to your future. And to the ladies who are here, I thank you again for trusting us to host you, for traveling from Paris and from London to be here. There are examples in this room, and they're tremendous examples. And each one of these examples can be you tomorrow. And I stand excited to say to you that as my own twilight begins and yours begins and your own beginning starts, I hand you a baton. And that baton says that in your generation, gender must emerge. The second ideal, which is close to my heart, please be seated, is the fact that out of every conversation that we have, we must do 2 things. We must distill that conversation across the board using the popular social media, which can be good or bad, but at the same time also we must disseminate it upwards so that shapers of policy, leaders of government, some of whom are in the room with us today, and leaders of industry hear what it is that we're saying and help to make what we are talking about a reality for gender. The third ideal is that every conversation we have must be around a model. And the model that we address today, Madam Minister, I honor you. The Nigerian Content Bill, one of the first of its kind, but one of the first acts of office that the president of my country, President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, signed soon after he came into office. Now, I do not propose to say that models automatically open the door for gender. But the thing is, when you discuss a model, then you begin to think that it is possible to adapt it to several different sectors. So today we discuss the oil and gas, but the possibilities are endless. If it has worked in the oil and gas sector, who says it cannot work in mining, in telecommunications, in agriculture, in manufacturing, and in all the large turnover industries? Now, that is also not to say that when you implement a model, automatically gender benefits. But from the people that I see in this room today, I can tell you one thing is for sure. Through that particular bill, indigents benefited, and by default, women. And for that reason, I am excited to be associated with the caliber of women that we have in the room today. The fourth pillar is the pillar of institutional backing. And everyone here represents an institution. But beyond that, everyone here represents an institution that is waiting to become. And so to have you all here backing this conversation is indeed an honor for me. And I give this one assurance, that we will do our utmost best to get the decisions that we make in this room today disseminated across the board and upwards. And I leave you with what I say every time that I talk about this subject, for which I am particularly passionate, that the fact that gender must emerge, and the fact that gender emergence is tied into economic development, bears its true witness in Nigeria, May 2014, being named the largest economy in Africa. I am so certain that the reason this has happened is because we have a president who went out of his way to be absolutely certain he gave some key and tough roles to women, ensuring that 30% of his cabinet and 30% of appointed roles have gone to women. No gainsaying. We had to emerge as the largest economy. And so it is not simply an ideal. It is not simply something that is nice to say. Nor is it cliche. But the truth is that sustainable economic development across Africa and the globe can only be achieved and attained when gender emerges.